I'm Travis Bushaw, your 2025 Iowa REALTORS State President, and I'm here with Greta Haas, our Director of Government Affairs, and she's going to talk about some of the newest changes with our code. So our 193E, we had some changes earlier in the year, but we kind of kept digging deep, and we had some that just went into effect September 10th. So Greta, if you wouldn't mind, kind of just briefly tell us about those and how they're going to affect real estate agents in the state of Iowa.
Absolutely. So our industry has undergone a significant amount of change over the past couple of years with the NAR settlement and then the passage of the Real Estate Transparency Act last year. And so with that, we had a lot of changes to 543B, the Iowa Code, and really wanting to make sure, working closely with the Real Estate Commission, that 193E, our administrative rules, also matched those changes that we made to the law. So that is a lot of what we're seeing here with these September 10th changes, specifically around definitions that are in Chapter 2 of 193E. One of the main ones that we have been talking a lot about are ministerial acts versus specific assistance and what crosses that line into specific assistance. And so really wanted to provide some clarifying language in rules on what specifically a ministerial act is.
Perfect. So give us some examples of those that are still allowed or have been better defined because of the code changes.
Yes, for sure. So examples of ministerial acts are providing responses to a general consumer inquiry, attending an open house and answering a question from a consumer, referring a person to another broker or service provider, or the listing broker showing a property to a customer that the listing broker has a brokerage agreement with the seller of that property with. So I know we talked about that at length in the future or in the past, but now we've really got this, codified and laid out really clearly in rules.
Perfect.
One thing to note, and a topic of discussion that we've had with the passage of the Real Estate Transparency Act, is how does this impact your ability to scribe or write offers for unrepresented buyers and sellers? And so this is really spelled out pretty clearly with these changes to what a ministerial act is. And so under these new rules changes, the ability to fill out that offer for an unrepresented customer is no longer.
Got it.
So if you are a buyer's agent and you're going into a FSBO situation, you can obviously write that offer for your buyer, but you're not going to be able to write one for the seller, and vice versa in the other types of situations.
And depending on your local MLS policies with what they can do with forms, potential that you could hand over the forms and say, here you go, but we're not going to input the information and the terms because we're representing in this scenario, we're representing the seller, and that's no longer a ministerial act. We've provided specific assistance when we started moving into the terms of the offer. Is that correct?
Exactly. Yep. So if you are the listing agent, like it says in these rules here, you can absolutely walk that customer through the property that you have listed. However, if they tell you, I want to make an offer, and they start to tell you, this is how much I am pre-approved for, this is the terms and conditions I want, that is when you need to stop, get into the dual agency process, and goes beyond that level into specific assistance. So.
All right. Anything else? I know there were a couple other chapter changes, but those seemed more of just clarifying and defining and making some cleanup. But anything else that you feel is important with these changes that our members should know about?
Yeah, with chapters 11 and 12, it really focuses on what can be included in brokerage agreements going forward, when they're required, and then also some of those key provisions such as protective clauses in those brokerage agreements, how those can be enforced. So
and that gets asked a lot of, hey, you know what, I've shown them all of these properties, we have this protective clause, it says that I need to previously send something certified mail and it needs to be received by a certain time. What are the changes in how that now can be handled?
Yeah, so we know that most business in real estate is really done electronically now, and so we have now added into 193E that you can enforce a protective clause via digital communication with confirmation written receipt. So again, it used to be just certified mail. Now we know most things is done via email, and so want to provide that as an option as well.
Yeah. Greta, if anyone, whether it is our local association staff, our members, brokers, if they have more questions about this, it's kind of the best way for them to get a summary, but also if they need to dig deeper into kind of some of these changes?
Yeah, absolutely. So we are always available as a resource here at staff, but we also have some great blogs up on the IowaRealtors.com website that really break down these changes chapter by chapter. I know they'll be covered in our law update classes coming up this fall for those of you that are renewing. So please take advantage of all the resources out there. We're happy to help, and keep familiarizing yourself with 193E and 543B. Hopefully the changes are slowing down for a little while now, but I think we've made good progress. So
awesome. Greta, thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Travis.